This episode contains spoilers from Season 2 of Heels. You've been warned. We made it to Season 2.
We did.
2 years later, here we are.
I'm so proud of us.
And what a time to start a new season.
Yes.
There have been some situations. Obviously, we're talking about the dual writers and Screen Actors Guild strikes.
Yep.
And what a time to have a podcast about Stephen Amell. Or a Stephen Amell starring show.
Yeah.
There have been some comments. I'm sure if you are anywhere on the internet, you've seen that there are some comments that have been made about the writers, about the strikes.
Yes.
But we're not here to talk about that.
We're not. We're not influencers.
We are not.
We make no money off of this.
We make $0. It probably costs us money to make this.
It does.
Welcome, everyone, to the Duffy Dome. My name is Jarrod.
My name's Julie.
If you are new to the show, we are a married couple, and we are watching the Starz show Heels. I am a wrestling fan.
I'm not.
Very, very opposite ends of the spectrum.
Correct.
We also grew up in different circumstances. I grew up in a rural area.
I grew up in a rural area.
Really?
Somewhat.
If we Googled your town, your place of residence.
When I moved there as a child, there was one stoplight. Now, currently, it is not that way.
If you Google top 10 biggest football stadiums, high school football stadiums in Texas, you will see Julie's high school prominently displayed.
It was smaller when I
What
was
I'm
there.
trying to say is that I grew up in a Duffy-like atmosphere.
Yes.
And someone else grew up in suburbia.
I agree.
Now, again, we acknowledge the Writers and Screen Actors Guild strike. But we're still going to go on with this. We were given a little advanced look at the show.
We were.
And so I'm straight up going to tell you, like, this episode came out a week ago. We watched it 2 weeks ago.
We did. We've watched it a couple times.
Yes. We are ready to take a look at season 2 because, my God.
Oh, my gosh. What a way to start the season.
But the thing is, it's like, I will point this out. Much like, and I'm not trying to make the comparison. I'm just saying this is a similar strategy. We want to know what happens after the fair.
Yeah.
We get a small snippet, and then we're in a flashback. This is similar to the Who Shot JR phenomenon, where... And I'm not,
I like it always comes back to Dallas.
I'm just saying, like, Who Shot JR? You've got to sit through 4 episodes before we tell you. Mm-hmm. What happened after the state fair? Find out next week.
I mean, you didn't find out in this episode for sure.
You got about 30 minutes after the show, and then we go to a flashback. Welcome to episode 1 of season 2. This is 10 Bell Salute. It is written by Mike O'Malley, who is also the showrunner. He's also Charlie Gully.
Spectacular at his job.
Director is Peter Segal. The cast is Stephen Amell, Alexander Ludwig. I swear to God I saw a video where he said Ludwig. So I spent 8 fucking episodes calling him Alexander Ludwig.
I always wondered why you said Ludwig instead of Ludwig.
Well, here we are. Alexander Ludwig. I am terrible about mispronouncing names if I just read them. Mm-hmm. Hooked on Phonics did not work for me. So I apologize if I mispronounce. I try to look them up on YouTube.
You make an effort. That's what's important. As long as you make an effort.
I try. Alison Luff, Mary McCormack, Kelly Berglund, Ellen Maldonado, Robby Ramos, Trey Tucker, Roxton Garcia, Chris Bauer. Absent from the credits.
Yeah.
James Harrison.
What is up with that?
I do not know.
We need to find out.
We are short apocalypse in this season.
So disappointed. And I mean, we just started the season, so maybe he comes back, but you know.
Are you ready to jump in?
I'm ready. It was an excellent episode.
It's funny because the show we've been waiting 2 years to find out about.
Mm-hmm.
The podcast we started a year ago.
We're such slackers.
And then we just finished season 1 last week. I just thought it was funny. I looked at it, I was like, it's incredible. We have pumped out 4 episodes in a month.
We're very productive. I mean, it's summertime though. So.
Yeah. So let's jump right to it. We get Ace leaving the fair, and he is hot.
He's mad. He's a mad man.
And he is trying to get out of there. Obviously, he's not thrilled with the finish.
He's cranky.
And Big Jim tries to stop him, and he just tells him, good luck, I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Takes off.
To where, who knows?
To where, who knows? In the back, there's a celebration, and Crystal is celebrating her win. And
Shut up.
And I'm air quoting. The funniest part about this scene that you will not notice is that CM Punk is drinking a beer.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Ricky Rabies is drinking a beer. Obviously, CM Punk will not drink beer, but it's funny.
I didn't even think about that.
That Ricky Rabies is the polar opposite of CM Punk.
Because CM Punk is straight edge, right?
CM Punk is straight edge, and that means he's better than you. Holds up X.
I mean, he is, because I'm definitely not. Because I love that knocking point line.
I am as
You're
close.
pretty straight edge.
I'm not. I don't claim it. I'm in my 40s. I can't.
You can't drink anymore.
I can't.
You really? I don't feel like you've drank in over a year. I don't think you've had anything in over a year.
Not true. I've had 2 drinks this year, and they've both been in airport lounges.
Oh, that's true.
All right. Now, last episode, we talked about how Crystal wasn't in the match. How could Crystal be the champion?
You talked about that.
I did.
You were real fired up about it. And now apparently Charlie Gully is too. And he's saying the same shit you were all mad about.
Well, what a way to introduce our first clip. Charlie Gully addresses the end results of the DWL State Fair event.
Check your TRT levels, boys. After that finish, we can't fuck the DWL worse than they just fucked themselves. That was the dumbest finish I ever saw.
Yeah.
Okay? And Jack Spade, wrestling purist, he is now deeply, irredeemably fucking fucked in a way he can't unfuck his way out of.
He can shoot a vignette justifying it.
Not if I cut a promo ragging on it first. Get a phone out. Kevin, fuck your Android with your green text bubbles, okay? Paul, say when.
Action.
Attention, dystopian disciples, Charlie Gully out here at the South Georgia State Fair. In case you missed it, your new DWL champion is the valet. That's right, the fucking valet, Bunny Bombshell, who hoppity hopped around the ring, switching her cottontail ass till she got the belt. According to Jack Spade's logic, I guess anybody can just grab the belt. The match is apparently wide open to anybody or any animal in the free world. So, if you desire the DWL belt, get yourself some bunny ears or a pig snout or a braid of horse ass hair, and abra fucking cadabra, the DWL belt can be yours.
Cut.
Post that! That fucking conceited fuck Jack Spade is gonna wish he never fucked with me.
Send it to the internet.
Mike O'Malley writing himself a great scene, which I'm sure, based off the reactions of people like me.
I love how it's literally what you said 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's a good way to address what the big holes in the plot.
Yes. Back to the show. Jack is looking everywhere for Ace. The fair people, though, are very excited about the results of it.
They're so happy. They want to book him for 3 more years.
And again, Jack is just looking everywhere for Ace. And then that takes us to a flashback. Diddle-oo, diddle-oo, diddle-oo.
It's a sad flashback.
It's a terrible flashback because it's Jack pulling up to find his dead dad because Ace, I guess, just called Jack.
Yeah, because Ace is
a man-child.
Well, I'm not going to say that. He found his dad, after he died. So obviously,
but to not clue his mom in.
Well, Jack takes care of him.
So we get Jack finding his dead dad, covering the body, and then the mom shows up.
Yes. The mom comes home.
Oh my God. She is just, I mean, yeah, what do you do if you find your husband dead? But she just goes cold throughout this episode.
I mean, she was already cold, but yeah, like.
That reaction of her at the funeral where they're all lining up to, that was weird though. I've never been to a funeral where everyone takes turns putting dirt on the casket.
Neither have I. I didn't know if that was like a thing.
Now, the last funeral we went to, they asked if anyone wanted to.
They did, but it wasn't like we all line up and do it. It was like, does anybody want to put dirt in? And our child, of course, was like, I do.
So anyway, she tells Stacy, tell Jack to hurry this up.
Yes.
So we get looks at small town Duffy reacting to a funeral and the aftermath at the Duffy Dome.
The wake.
We get our first look at Crystal pre-DWL.
Yeah, that was interesting.
She was just hired to kind of help and clean up, and, you know, she runs into Ace.
Literally. It highlights her fangirlness, though, that she is like
very much so
legit a fangirl. And it kind of gives you this glimpse into why her and Ace got together in the first place is because she's such a little fangirl. And now that she's kind of come into her own and she's feeling more confident, maybe now she can separate from Ace more. And
now that she's the champion.
She's the champ. Don't air quote it. She's the champ.
I appreciated that Bill showed up.
Yes, because I feel like in season 1, and I might be wrong. I might be misremembering. I feel like at some point somebody yelled at Bill and was like, you didn't help when Tom died. And it turns out, no, he did help. He came and gave the mom, like, I don't ever remember the mom's name. He gave her a bunch of money and she didn't tell anybody he gave her money.
Well, Jack said he didn't come help before his dad died.
Yeah. But he was there.
And she told him not to hog the spotlight.
Yeah.
He just gave her money and apologized or gave his condolences.
Mm-hmm.
And then he left.
And he didn't hog the spotlight. He was very, like, respectful. Uncharacteristically so.
Yes. Back inside, Stacy, in that small town way, runs into someone who introduces herself and really, really gets up in her business.
This seemed really, though, like, awkwardly inserted into the episode. And I don't know if they're trying to highlight how small towns are all gabby and they all talk to each other and everybody knows each other's business, or if it's going to come up again later in the season and we just haven't seen it yet. But it just felt so awkwardly inserted. Did you feel that, or am I just being...
It was, after having watched that episode, I was like, what was the point of that?
Yeah, it was like, that was unnecessary. I understand they wanted us to know that she had had a miscarriage. Like, okay. I just feel like there were more organic ways to express that than the way it was put in there.
Because she gets mad and just hits the parking lot and is cussing up a storm and runs into Ace.
I mean, she got to be real sassy with somebody and passive aggressive, which I was all about. You know, that was great, her comeback to that lady. But yeah, and then she got to have that fun interaction with Ace too.
Jack is inside after the event is done. Mm-hmm. He's cleaning up the office because the belief is that the DWL is over and that they're going to just get rid of it, knock it down.
He's taking the belts off the wall.
He's taking the belts. They're just, everybody, all the wrestlers are coming in and talking, and it's just like, it's over. We're wrapping this up. Our big star died. Let's just call it. Willie is in there talking to Jack, and she goes across Tom's desk, and she finds a letter for Jack.
From Tom. To Jack. No notes for Willie.
No notes for her. She's visibly upset. And they have a little conversation, Jack and Willie, about Tom and his death.
Thank you for helping to keep this dream alive with him.
Kept it alive till it killed him.
He killed him.
No, I could have told him to get out, drop it, end it. I didn't. He spent decades of his life investing everything he had, so much that the idea of folding it down was some declaration of failure that he couldn't bear.
He bought a house, fed his family. Didn't do much other than wrestle for most of his adult life. That not being enough of a life for him, that's his declaration. He's a pussy, he's a coward, and he took the coward's way out.
Fuck you.
Fine. Fuck me. Fuck him, too.
He hid so much from y'all, all the pressure and the weight he carried.
He threw his weight around every chance he got.
Open the letter. Please.
I don't care what he wrote.
I'm sorry I said fuck you. I shouldn't have said fuck you.
Jacket's yours if you want it.
What a stupid jacket.
Now, both this season, or this episode and last, Jack's reaction to his father's death has been basically fuck him.
Yes.
And Ace, when he was talking to Thomas, has more of a less angry approach to it.
He's very tortured about it.
Yes.
But I mean, he's the one who found him, so.
But the fuck him attitude of Jack.
Jack's in the anger stage of grief. And I don't think he ever leaves.
That is correct.
But then, you know, the wrestlers all come in.
Everyone is talking about
honoring him.
He needs a 10-bell salute.
Yes.
Now, for those who are new to the wrestling business, a 10-bell salute is something they do for someone who's died. And 10-bell salutes are not to be fucked with.
Oh. That's not like a ploy they ever use, right?
No, that is
like
not
legit.
an angle. There is a clip of them doing a 10-bell salute in a smaller promotion. I think it was Eddie Guerrero's, and somebody like screams, fuck him or something. And they finish the 10-bell salute. It's so quiet. And then the second the 10-bell salute is over, you can just see everyone turn around and start screaming at this guy. And the guy that runs the show gets on the overhead mic. He's like, find that guy and get him the fuck out of this building.
Ooh.
So there's been some 10-bell salutes that, I mean, as a fan, they're like emotional.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, they're talking about how Tom needs this. And so the seed has been planted.
Well, they're talking about how the town needs it, too. Like to say goodbye to Tom and the Duffy Dome.
Yes. And when Jack goes home, he's frustrated about everything. And he starts talking to Stacy. And Stacy is the one who comes up with the tribute show.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you should do one last show. Maybe you should. Which is funny because you look at her like, all you do is do this damn DWL. And it's like, you sowed the seeds.
It's such a contrast. And I know they're doing that on purpose. So we see the big contrast in that. And they're even talking about how they don't fight at all. Because Ace is like, you and Jack don't fight. She's like, we don't need to fight. But it's like such a difference then and now. It's her idea. It's
her idea. And another scene, Jack tries to get his mom in on it. And she's just like, hell no. Absolutely not. The best thing that will happen to this place is when that building gets taken down.
Yep. She's dead inside.
She is dead inside. But Jack goes on. One last card. As they're plotting it, as he presents the idea to the wrestlers, Ace wants in.
Yep.
As we learned, Ace has been held back from the locker room. Ace has been held back from the business end of things.
Backstage. Like, he's not really been allowed to be involved in wrestling at all.
So he wants Jack to let him in, and Jack's like, I don't know. And Ace's response is, I found him.
And he's like, I'm athletic. I can do it.
Yes. So we get to go through a scene of Ace learning the ropes. And my first complaint of the new season is that if Ace was learning the ropes, the first thing they would be doing is teaching him how to take a bump.
That was not the first complaint of the second season. I just want to point that out.
What was my first complaint?
The ropes are too loose.
Yeah.
That was your first complaint. You said it multiple times.
The ropes were really loose in the wrestling, non-wrestling scenes. Or was it when he went to go
in
to
the practicing scene? You were like, the ropes are too loose.
Okay. The ropes were way too loose. They were floppy.
2 complaints
All
this
right.
early in the season.
But he would be taking bumps first.
Would he?
Yes. You got to learn to fall.
I mean, he's a football player.
There's still there's a difference.
I mean, they only have a week to teach him. Would they really be doing that?
I'm not saying it all he would do that week is take bumps, but the very first thing he would do is take bumps and then run the ropes.
Okay.
He goes straight into he ran ropes for a little bit and they're like, let's go through the match.
Then they teach him things. And then he jumps off
He wants to jump off the top and he misses and Rooster's kind of dickish.
He is, but in a good-natured kind of way, I kind of think. But maybe I'm misinterpreting.
Well, he's like, oh, Ace. He was talking about how Ace probably couldn't do it. And
he wants to show off and like kind of.
Big Jim's like, Ace is a good athlete. And I was an all-state tight end because of Ace.
That's a really good impression of Big Jim.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. That
was really good.
So basically, they are going through this. Ace is going to go over. Ace is going to win.
Yes. You had to explain to me what going over was.
Yeah. When you're putting someone over, that means they are winning.
Because Jack says it several times.
Yes.
And I didn't know what that meant.
You're going over.
I'm like, he's going over what? Is he going to push him over the ropes? I didn't understand.
Also, when Jack announces this event, he has scripts ready. And they talk about how Tom just let things go kind of on the fly.
Yes.
I also think it's funny that Rooster looks at the script and they're all like, oh, wow, this is great. We get to do things. And Rooster is all about the hardcore match that Jack suddenly writes, which is funny because DWL is all about tradition, but then Jack writes a goddamn dumpster match into the event.
It didn't seem like hardcore, though. Just like, yeah, I pick him up and I throw him in a dumpster full of padding.
Well, they were hitting each other with chairs and stuff.
Okay.
It's a slippery slope in those hardcore events. We get to the big event, and there is a 10-bell salute.
Yes. Willie introduces it.
Yes.
Good job, Willie.
10-bell salute, and then Crystal from the audience at the end goes, King Spade!
Which was very corny.
And then, yeah. But she shows, again, it shows her fangirlness.
Yes, that she is a real fan.
I appreciate, in this episode, the use of Boston's More Than a Feeling. There's some really good music this episode.
There is. Wild Bill was there.
Wild Bill was there, yes, for the 10-bell salute. Hood up. Yes. That's a good thing to point out. When it gets to the big event, Jack comes out, and he doesn't come out to his Jack Spade heel music.
He wasn't very heel-like. Yeah, he was just kind of, thanks for coming out for my dad, blah, blah, blah. And then you see him switch on the show.
When Ace comes
character. It's like, hey, I'm Jack. And then he turns into Jack Spade.
Yeah, Ace comes out, and Ace comes out in the king robe. I guess I thought, because I looked at all the clips, I didn't really think that Tom Spade was like Jerry the King Lawler or Harley Race. I didn't think he was literally wearing a crown and a robe.
I don't know who those people are, but yeah, I didn't think he was wearing a crown and a robe
the king
either.
Gimmick. So when Ace comes out in the king robe, and then, yeah, you're right, Jack goes, oh, it's my little brother Ace Spade.
And then the accent changes a little too.
You won't, we gonna sell this in the ring.
Yeah.
It's very thick, and it just shows up. I guess that Jack Spade, the wrestler, is more of a angry Southern
he's angry,
heel.
and when you get angry and you're Southern, it comes out more.
Do I get Southern when I get angry?
No, but you're weird. I get way more Texas when I'm angry.
I will tell you one time, someone called the house back when everyone had a landline, and it was my mom's friend in North Carolina, and I answered the phone, and she asked for my mom, and I said, hold on, I'll get her. After that phone call, my mom was like, yeah, she said you have the thickest Southern accent, and I was offended.
You do not have an accent.
I was offended.
I mean, you do there's certain things sometimes that are very
one of
Southern,
my friends said, like, because I say get.
Yeah, you do.
There's just some, but
Fixin'.
I ain't like Jack Spade.
Yeah, you don't use a lot of the jargon down here, the slang.
Yes, I very rarely say ain't. Back to the match, they work it out. There's a lot more wrestling.
There's a lot of wrestling in this episode.
There's a lot of wrestling in this episode. The ropes are tighter. They work through the match.
Ace does a good job.
Ace is doing good. The crowd is reacting. They're going home, which means they're getting to the end of the match.
Okay.
And they're laying there, and Ace is like, let me jump off the top rope. And Jack tells him, we're about to go home. Just get the roll up, and we'll get out.
He's like, everybody loves it.
Jack's like, whatever, because Jack,
Ace gets what he wants.
Calls stuff on the fly. So Ace gets to go to the top rope, and he soaks in all the glory, and he flashes back to seeing his dad do it because he sees himself in the audience. He does the King Spade pose. It reminded me of the wrestler. So he does the arms out, and he does the elbow drop, hits it better than he did in practice, gets the win. Jack and Ace embrace.
They walk off together.
I cannot explain to you the importance and significance of them walking off together.
I did not understand. You did have to explain it.
Yes, because the only 2 times I've seen it 3 times, but the 2 times that really meant something, Hulk Hogan and The Rock had a match at WrestleMania. They walked out of the match together. They walked up to the ramp together. The match was over. The Rock had been victorious. They turn around at the top of the ramp. Hulk Hogan raises The Rock's hand, holds his hand out, presents The Rock to the crowd.
It's like passing the torch.
That is a passing of the torch. The other time that this happened, The Rock and John Cena in their second WrestleMania walk up to the top of the ramp. The Rock had lost. He raises John Cena's hand, holds his hand out, passing of the torch.
And now The Rock is the highest paid actor in the world.
Yes. So the Spade brothers walk out together, putting a nice little bow on the DWL.
Yep, knock it down now.
It's over.
Complete.
That's the end of the show.
Closure.
Thanks for watching Heels. But wait, there's more.
Hey, you were incredible.
No, you were, man. The crowd is so loud. They're still going.
It's a good way to go out.
Best feeling ever. Better than when I won the state championship.
You won that state championship on a bullshit pass interference call.
Hey, I don't ref the games. I just play them. Fate wanted me winning the state championship.
I don't know how you picked all that up in a week. There are wrestlers that work their entire careers. Don't tap into what you just did. You got it.
Thanks for saying that, Jack.
It's not stupid.
Say again?
This is not a stupid thing, this thing. It's an amazing thing. The fraternity and the camaraderie. It's so far from a stupid thing.
I agree.
We should keep doing it.
You serious?
We should make this into what it could have been. What we just proved that it can be if we work together. We can pull this off. You just have to... We're gonna have to work hard. Trust. Grind. Have each other's backs.
Remember when we fought as kids and Dad would make us shake hands and say that?
Yeah, maybe we should have said it before we fought. Stop the fighting up front.
I got your back, brother.
Maybe they should say that now.
It just goes to show that between I got your back and I'm going to break your arm.
I'm going to kill you.
And I'm going to kill you. There a lot of shit happened.
And it apparently, it really wasn't that long ago. I mean, at least it doesn't seem that way in this episode. It seems, in last season, it seemed like Tom's death had happened quite a while back. But then in kind of watching it in this episode, it doesn't seem like that way. We'll find out.
Now, back to present day, we get back to the parking lot of the State Fair. Everyone's leaving. Ace is nowhere to be found.
They're all gonna convoy back.
Yes. Ricky Rabies. I know Diego's like, oh, you're part of the DWL family now.
I guess CM Punk's gonna stick around.
I saw a video of him getting like his tattoos covered, like the process that it takes.
Oh yeah, he has a lot of tattoos.
He has a shit ton of tattoos. We get a kiss from Crystal and Bobby.
Oh, it was so sweet.
Like, tell me you guys saw that. What did it mean?
I don't know. I mean, it looked like it meant something. Maybe she was just caught up in the moment.
Maybe
as
she was
the champ.
As the champ. And the guy back to Duffy, Ace has loaded up his car and he's leaving. It seems like he's like, is that the road to Florida?
I don't know.
Is that the road to another place? Because he's just getting the hell out. But he leaves with the crown.
He has the crown and his car is full of boxes.
Yes. So he is done, and the mom's like, good for you, Ace.
Yeah. She
is checked out. She hates wrestling.
She hates wrestling.
The final scene of the show is Jack getting home and talking to Stacy. Stacy, who stayed at the rodeo.
Didn't come see him wrestle.
Stacy, who's calling him from her friend's house.
Because she's making a point.
And he told him that he confessed about the tissues, the Kleenex incident. He says that Ace tried to kill him.
Well, the truth is good.
Shut
no, it wasn't Stacy. You tried to kill him.
It just seems, I mean, Jack is he's banged up.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's legit, like, hurt.
And he has to, like, pretend to care that she sang the fucking national anthem.
I'm sure he does care. Like, he does. But she took his kid from him.
Yes. It just seems like they're not advancing.
No. It just seems like she just wants to...
She's
waiting for some gesture from him, but she won't communicate what it is that she's wanting.
And he, like, almost gets murdered by his brother.
He did the thing she asked him to do.
And she's just like, well...
We'll talk tomorrow.
We'll talk tomorrow. Maybe we can... Shut up.
No, and here's the thing. Like, I understand... I mean, we understand, like, marriage is hard sometimes. Communication can be difficult. You need time to cool off. I don't agree with the way she's doing it. It's a TV show, whatever, you know. You can't expect things from him but not communicate to him what it is you're wanting specifically.
He has to know the piece of the puzzle that he has to solve.
Yeah. What is the hoop you're wanting him to jump through? Oh. Is this a test? And if it is a test, that's stupid.
It's basically like, all right, I love you too. And he's like, how's Thomas? And
she's hung up. Yeah, she won't even, yeah.
So he limps to bed and he opens the drawer and he finally takes out the letter.
Ugh.
And he opens it.
The letter from Tom Spade.
I can't tell if he's opened it several times.
I don't think so.
It's just so old that the envelope was open.
Yeah, I think the envelope was open when he got it. Yeah.
Jack, take care of Ace.
He knows he's going to not be there anymore. His immediate thought is to have Jack take care of Ace. It's not to be like, Jack, I love you.
I'm sorry.
I couldn't do this anymore. You know, let me give you an explanation or some closure of some kind, some reassurances that I was proud of you after all the abuse that I put you through in your childhood. No.
Take care of it.
Let's add on to Jack's trauma and make it, no, your only purpose is to take care of your brother.
Mike O'Malley.
Good job.
Bravo, dude. It really is a ploy to, like, not answer everything right away, but we get the background.
I do like the backstory because, you know, you're thrown into it in season 1. You just get thrown into this family in this town in this situation, and you don't really understand. I mean, those of us who are not wrestling people, even more so, you don't really understand what the hell's going on. But now you get these little flashbacks, and it's really interesting, and it brings depth to the characters, and it helps you understand why the mom is, like, so absent. So it's interesting.
It is. It's a great episode. It is really good to be back with fresh episodes. I mean, like I said, we watched that 5th episode like
we got distracted
7 times. So it's nice to have fresh content. We appreciate all the listens. We are on Twitter, which isn't Twitter anymore.
What is it now?
It's called X.
I don't like it.
The app is called X. But if you go to your, like if I wanted to tell someone my address for X, it's twitter.com/the Duffy Dome. So that is where we are at. We are the Duffy Dome on Twitter. You know what I'm talking about when I say Twitter. When my app auto updated and it said X, I was like, fuck that. No, it's Twitter.
Yours still looks like Twitter.
So find us on Twitter if you want to interact with us. And again, we thank you. And we hope that you've enjoyed this episode of the Duffy Dome. We will be back.
Hopefully soon.
Next week with more. Thanks for tuning in.